Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Midnight Therapy. I am your host, the one and only Cat Matthews. It is great to be back in the chair. We have had an inconsistent schedule with the show, and I do apologize. We were busy, very busy, a couple weeks off. Then we had the Mike the Barber Returns episode, which took a while to review and edit and just process. It's an over 2 hour episode, so if you haven't watched that one, you should do it. A lot of good takes, a lot of good subjects were discussed on that episode. Thank you, Mike the Barber, for being on. Of course, Mike the Barber is our show's first sponsor, so thank you again, Mike the Barber and Three Saints Barbershop. But we're back. You got your solo cat episode. I know you've been missing your weekly rants, but don't worry, they should be back now. We're also going to have some more guests on throughout this fall season. Halloween is over. Halloween was very fun, very hectic. Felt long this year. As we said, Halloween is now a season. It's not a day. So the season of Halloween felt very long. Not happy it's over, but I'm relieved that it's over. Now I can relax a little because we are now entering Christmas season. And for those of you that don't know, my take on this is that Thanksgiving is just a meal that takes place during Christmas season. Christmas season begins the day after Halloween, which is today, November 1st. It is now Christmas season, and the meal of Thanksgiving will go on during the season of Christmas. So a lot of people disagree with that, but they're wrong. The turkey is behind us. Please enjoy that. The Grotesque Holiday Portrait Series, Turkey, by yours truly, is hanging behind you because that meal is coming up. That meal day, the feast day during Christmas season is coming up. So goodbye, Halloween, and hello, Santa. Three-Eye Atlas is here. We're jumping right in, as always. The comet that is a spaceship from another galaxy that is steering and correcting course and heading towards our sun to do a loop around, like Star Wars or Interstellar. The planned programming of those sci-fi movies make us think that that's what's going on. Who knows? It'll probably just miss us and be nothing. Or it's not even real in the first place. But, I mean, if it was going to be something, like I said, it was probably going to be a blue beam fake psychological operation to unify the country into submitting their rights in exchange for protection from the alien and or divine entity that appears one day. So I wasn't worried anyways. I'm curious to see what would have happened because I enjoy the reality show. It's funny and interesting. So I'm like, oh, what, is the alien coming today? Probably not. But it is near our sun right now, apparently, if you believe any of the crap they feed you. They might not know anything. They might just make it up because it's a slow news day. I don't know. But Three-Eye Atlas is near our sun. Maybe it's going to loop around with the sun's gravitational energy and slingshot back towards Earth. Joe Rogan had a guy, an expert, Avi Loeb. I think that's how you say it. This guy's an astrophysicist who devoted his whole life studying comets. He said this is very abnormal, and he believes it's probably not a comet, and that the metal concentration in the trail of gas, I think, and the trajectory and the course correction is not indicative of a comet. And he believes the mainstream science community is hiding that anomaly from us. So we're left to read paragraphs on X or watch moms from Minnesota make TikToks explaining 3i Atlas, and I think all that information gets kind of skewed and people don't know what's going on, but you're getting it from me. We're going to get into this later, but you're getting it from me who's giving it to you straight. It could be a comet, it could be aliens, it could be Project Bluebeam, or it could be nothing because nobody knows anything. And people just make stuff up. Could be any of those. So should you worry about it? Probably not. Speaking of aliens, the Carbondale Alien Festival is coming up next week. I don't think I'm going to be able to attend, sadly, even though I have artwork being showcased in it. But it's a good reason why I'm not going, because my brother-in-law, AJ, had his child, baby boy. And we have to go see this child, which is my child's cousin. We had babies around the same time. They must be putting something in the water. But yeah, I'm going to miss the Alien Festival. If you don't know, I'm going to give you the brief recap. Aliens crashed in Carbondale in the 1970s, and it's like the 50th anniversary or something around the 50th anniversary of this crash. And they have a festival every year, and all these people come and they put on antennas and tinfoil hats, and it's fun. And I'm going to miss it. Anyways, speaking of local, there was a story. This highway near us was all backed up. A couple of people I know, including Christy, got caught in the traffic the other day, and things happen all the time on the highway. But this event was that a cattle truck of cows caught on fire, and all these cows were like running around the highway, and a couple of them, sadly, terribly, unfortunately, got burnt in the truck. They caught on fire and were burning. And the air smelt of steak. I'm not kidding. This is what they said. It's what witnesses said. One of the cows was on fire and still alive, and a cop had to shoot it in front of everyone on their way to work at 6 a.m. This is kind of an odd story. I just wanted to share it with you. I don't think anything, I think things just happen sometimes, but what a weird thing to see while you're half asleep going to work in the morning. The sad irony, though, was the cows that survived and got out of the truck, like they were heading to a fate of death. Then worse death came, like more inhumane death came, and then they still escaped. And they're like, "Oh my God, I guess we're gonna make it after all." And then the sad part is another cattle truck showed up and took all the other cows that did escape to the slaughterhouse anyways. I thought that was a little unfair. When something like that happens, just let the cows go. If I was there, I would say, "Get out of here, run." And I would try to make the cow go into the woods. But I do find that a little sad that they did live against all odds. And then they're like, "Oh, well, you're going back in another truck to the slaughterhouse." That's just not fair. Speaking of animals on trucks, this is a Mississippi story. This story keeps popping up in different varieties and variations of the story keep appearing, where it's this lab test monkey truck, where this truck is full of lab test monkeys, and it crashes and the monkeys get out. Like, why does this keep happening? This happened with the monkeypox a couple years back. Now it happened again. They have these genetically mutated monkeys that escaped from this truck accident, this truck crash, and all these monkeys get out and they're still on the loose. They have all these diseases, and they're genetically lab test modified monkeys, and they're out. Now, what's going on there? And what do you do? Like, what if the monkey bites somebody and starts this new disease? I don't know. Not good. That monkey's going to bite somebody and start a new pandemic. You watch. And then I thought of this. Here's my little theory. What if they're lab testing monkeys? Like, we know they are. Unfortunately, the monkeys are always getting tested on, and the rats, the mice, and even sometimes rabbits and guinea pigs and all that. But anyways, monkeys are always getting tested on. What if they're like testing Neuralink, the chip, like the AI chip that they want to give to humans. We know they tested that on monkeys, but what if one of those monkeys gets out and they're like super advanced and smart and they run on AI and they know how to steal a vehicle and they instantly learn how to drive and they learn how to speak and it becomes like a Planet of the Apes type thing. It's a great idea for a movie, even though Planet of the Apes already is out. This would be like AI. Planet of the AI Apes. You could have that, Hollywood. But it's a good idea, and it's probably going to happen. The more and more I hear these stories, I think we are in end times. I keep saying that. It's a theme of the show. Are we in end times? I have the Hobby Lobby book that says we are in end times. I wouldn't go against that. Hobby Lobby is credible with their book recommendations. But what really makes me think we are in end times, besides the cows burning in the truck and the lab test monkeys getting out, is I saw this thing. There's this Anne Frank off-Broadway musical about Anne Frank. We know who Anne Frank is. You know, sensitive subject. I get it. But these people that are making this play, it's a hip-hop musical about a queer, pansexual, Latinx girl boss, Anne Frank, named Anita Franco. Now, if you could even understand what I just said, you're probably as shocked as I am. I'm not even going to say anything about it anymore. I'm just going to say this is probably the end of the empire. This is probably the end. When we start painting the diary of a little girl that was in the Holocaust as a Latinx queer girl boss and she's dancing to hip hop music, you know what I'm saying? It's probably over. At least we know we won't go out by climate change. Bill Gates, who scared the world for years, saying that we have 5 years left before the air chokes us all, and the cow farts are making the air too hot, and it's going to kill everyone. And anybody that lives on the coast, their house is going to sink into the water. That guy, he's now saying climate change is not an existential threat anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why you must be skeptical of everything and everyone. Everyone's a liar. Everything's a lie. When you heard that cow farts were making the air hotter, like, you still said that. You still regurgitated that talking point to someone, and you knew it was wrong, and you knew that would made no sense. But you still did. We need to stop doing that. We need to say, wait a minute. Wait. Wait. What? I have to go buy an electric car because of the cow farts? No. Yeah. Let's keep moving. Trump is compromised. I am the first to say that. I said it months ago. I mean, I'm probably not the first, but as soon as I realized, I told my audience, and now you're seeing it more than ever. And me and Mike the Barber talked about this a bit last week. I'm going to talk about it a little more. Trump's on this world tour. He's in Asia. He's back now, but he was in Asia just collecting crowns and jewels. Trump's making these movie, like Tom Cruise entrances. Like he comes down on this platform with 2 bomber jets and walks out to theme music. Like this is a crazy show we're living in, and Trump is the main character or the main villain, whatever you want to say. He gets off the plane, and these Japanese orchestra band members are playing YMCA for Trump getting off the plane by the Village People. The YMCA song, there's a joke that Trump dances to. Japan, they're playing it on tubas and trumpets, and he's doing a little dance. Like this is, an odd show. This is like a weird part of the show that we call life. Trump is full on committing to these monuments that he wants. He wants this arch. He wants the Arc de Trump, like the Arc de Triomphe in France or Paris. And we said last time Hitler wanted that as well, and he didn't get it, but Trump's going to get his. And he has this ballroom. They were saying he didn't destroy the East Wing, only a little section. No, it's the entire East Wing is half the White House, about half the White House is completely destroyed. And it was perfectly fine. But now it's destroyed because Trump wants a bigger, better, golden gilded ballroom for his rich, aristocratic friends to come and drink and talk about world domination. You know what I'm saying? It's like an eyes wide shut party. Like, that's what he wants. Setting the stage for the purge. It's very odd. Seems orchestrated. But there's like checks and balances, right? We live in a republic. This is a democratic society. It's by the people. That's the people's house. The White House is the people's house. So if you're going to build a golden ballroom that's bigger than the White House itself, there's probably some checks and balances. And that's actually correct. It's called the Fine Arts Committee that manages all the monuments and renovations and art projects. Anything architecture related goes through this Fine Arts Committee. Trump fired them. He fired the entire Fine Arts Committee because they may have stopped one of his projects. Not great. How is this ballroom getting paid for? How are these projects getting paid for? They're multiple $100 million projects. You think there's an answer? You would think, and Trump's like, I'm paying for it out of pocket. That's very much not the case. Trump has a lot of donors that are making generous donations out of the goodness of their heart for this ballroom that Trump wants. I want it. Don't worry, Mr. Trump. We'll pay for it. And some of these donors, just let your mind have fun with this, is Amazon, Apple, Google, Palantir, friend of the show, Palantir, Comcast, Microsoft, and Lockheed Martin. The list goes on. Look it up. This is all public knowledge. I'm just a cowboy in the basement telling you things I looked up. It took 2 seconds to look this up. So no, Trump is not paying for it. And those people are just because they want Trump to be happy. Don't you just want people to be happy? Don't you just give hundreds of millions of dollars away just because you want people to have what they want, even if it's ridiculous? Of course they do. That's what people do. They're philanthropists, and they're getting nothing in return. It's selfless. It is selfless that Palantir is giving $100 million or so Trump could have a fancy room. The country's fine. We have extra money. It's okay. It's not like people are dying and starving and, everything's cool here. So we have extra money to spend on golden ballrooms. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. This is very much leading up to be like a French Revolution event. I see it. If you know anything about the past, this is going to create some tension. This is a repeat of previous centuries. This is my prediction. I think that ballroom in particular is going to appear in the future history books as a important factor. You have people doing not so well in this country and nothing's affordable and the world is at war. And the rich aristocrats all aligned with this guy who thinks he's a king, and he's building golden ballrooms while people don't have food stamps or health care. That's going to be a problem, whether you like it or not. You're creating too big of a divide of class struggle here, and you're going to get people desperate and willing to take the law into their own hands and go a little more anarchy. You know what I'm saying? And you also, this Trump king, whatever he thinks he is now, betrayed his base over and over and over and over and over again. So now you're going to get those people that did support him feeling betrayed, and they're going to turn on him too, while he sits in a golden ballroom and they can't get the knee operation they need. You know what I'm saying? This is how things happen. Now, we're going to get into all this. I do believe they are intentionally creating a civil conflict on purpose. And by they, I'm going to leave it up to you to speculate. But let's say people that rule the world, the elites, the deep state, the ruling class, the billionaires, anyone whose best interest is in conflict. Pretty much everyone that I listed as donators to Trump's ballroom, those people, and then some, want there to be a civil conflict. Now, this is a glorious Saturday morning because I'm just happy to be alive, obviously. But for some people, it's a terrible day because it's November 1st and the government shutdown still going. And many people, many millions of people across the country are going to lose their food stamps or SNAP benefits. It ended November 1st for some people. Um, Obviously, this is not good. Obviously, for you people out there that are saying, so what? Of course, there is misuse of these benefits. People abuse the system and cheat the system and rely on the system for 40 years. I understand. No one is saying that this is a perfect, flawless system. But you have to admit, if you have half a brain and some logical tendencies, some of those benefits are actually helping people that really need them. Would you agree? Probably, right? What of those people? What do we do about the people that actually need those benefits? This is what I'm saying. Like, you can't deny that there are people that actually rely on these food stamps. And the government is hurting these people by doing this. And, some people are going to be upset and complain. And then other people are going to kick into gear and just do what they have to do for their family. And you're already seeing that there's people on TikTok posting videos that we're going to steal the food no matter what, which is what desperate people have to do sometimes. I'm not saying it's right, but this is what happens when, people are put between a rock and a hard place. They're going to go against the way they normally would act. That's what you're going to see. So you have people saying, we're just going to steal the food. What are they going to do? And that's not good. So there's your first tier. Let me explain how they're planning an intentional civil conflict and why they want it to happen. Number one, this government shutdown and the food stamp situation. That's going to cause regular, average, ordinary people that just want to be left alone to get politically involved. And I don't think they're going to go run for office or write a strongly worded letter. I think they're probably going to rob a Target because they need baby formula and food. That's going to happen. You're going to have people, the next tier of that just want to take advantage of the chaos, and they're going to loot also if other people are looting. This is just my prediction here. The next thing is false hope. Starts with false hope, which is my second point. Zoran Mandami is most certainly going to win the New York City mayoral race. And without getting into that, because I don't need to be a broken record and I don't need to keep talking about the same thing everyone else is talking about, but he will single-handedly destroy New York City with his policies. And I think that's kind of the point, to create unrest. You cannot give people free food and free busing and have no cops and let everyone out of prison. And it sounds so good if you are running for class president of a middle school and you give everybody 5 free chocolate milks and cookies every day and unlimited recess. That sounds great when you're, 12. But to run for mayor of the most influential city in the country and say we're going to give everybody free stuff and no one's ever going to get in trouble, of course, a tier of the society is going to vote for you. Anyone that's not super rich is going to vote for that guy, you know, because who doesn't want free stuff? And who really cares if the country collapses? No one really cares about that, especially in New York. It's such a fast paced city. No one's worried about long term things. They're worried about the rent is due tomorrow and I barely have enough money. So this guy's going to make my life easier. Yeah, sure. So he's going to win because there are more, let's say, emotionally driven people that are selfish than there are, the opposite. I think that's clear in every society. People look out for themselves, and if this guy's given, they're taken. So he's going to win, and then you'll see New York fall. It's going to look like Black Friday. Look at Black Friday. People will kill each other and beat the shit out of each other for Roku TV. Think about that. What do you think is going to happen when the grocery stores open? You think people are just going to take what they need? Well, I'll just have a pack of beef and some pasta and maybe 2 sweet peppers and an onion. And that'll be good. They're going to take everything. People went nuts over toilet paper. When COVID happened, they took like 800 packs of toilet paper and they hoarded it up just in case. You really think human nature is take what you need? Why do you think buffets have the signs up? Only take what you need. Like, because people don't know any better. They'll take everything and they'll eat 2 bites and throw the rest away. This is just what's going to happen. I think it's all on purpose. Take the cops out of New York. The business will leave New York. It'll become complete chaos and anarchy, and everyone with half a brain will leave, and everybody that wants free stuff will migrate in. So you'll see like the roaches coming in for the food, for the sticky peanut butter on the floor, and all the people that are afraid of roaches will leave the room. That's what's going to happen. They're afraid of what's coming in and they want to leave, and it's going to create just a pile of peanut butter with a bunch of roaches around it. And the government's going to keep putting peanut butter out until one day they go, hey, we're out of peanut butter. And then what do the roaches do? They go nuts and they attack each other. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to make your own peanut butter. It's like, well, we don't know how. You gave it to us our whole life. Sorry. And they're going to move on. That's the second tier. The third tier is Trump already, for I don't even know what reason, you tell me, is putting the National Guard in these big cities. Not good. Obviously, adverse reaction to that. People don't like that. DC has the National Guard everywhere. Chicago, all these big cities have the National Guard there. That's intimidation and to create conflict and to stir the pot, to poke the bear, obviously, to get this civil conflict going a little faster. They're expediting the process. They're trying to get a conflict. Same thing with these ICE raids. It's to create an emotional backlash to these things, and they need an event. They're waiting for their George Floyd event. They're waiting for people to retaliate against a cop or an ICE agent or someone, and then the cop shoots a civilian, and then this starts. The civil conflict of the Civil War or the revolution begins. Like, this is pretty simple stuff here if you pay attention to history. The shot heard around the world, that's what it'll be. Like, here's the plan. I'll give you their blueprint, and I'm just a cowboy in the basement here, so what do I know? It's just a satirical comedy podcast. But I do think their plan is to destroy the country on purpose, let it burn for a bit, and then send in the savior, which will be more government and a relief from anarchy. And you will give up your freedom for security just to be spared of the chaos. And by you, I mean 90%. We'll say, all right, fine, let us go back to normal. Okay, but I need your biometric data and I need you to get this chip so we can track you to make sure you're legal and following the rules and getting only the food you need. Okay, please. I just want to go back to my life. All right, we'll save you. Even though we started the fire, we'll put it out. That's what's going to happen. Now, let's talk about these ICE raids. Let's be honest, they're out of control. This is not what people voted for. Anybody that is a Trump supporter, if you're still justifying the ICE raids, I don't know what to say to you. Because you didn't vote for, I don't think you voted for this. And if you did, you're a different kind of person. My take was that people voted for Donald Trump and his stance on immigration because they felt that the Biden administration let 10 to 20 million undocumented people in the country. And that's true. And something had to be done about it. And Trump promised to get rid of the violent criminals and the drug dealers. That's what everyone's good with. You know, if you're a drug dealer or a violent criminal, okay, time to go back. And we should spend taxpayer money and effort, some taxpayer money on getting the criminals out of the country. That's fair. I don't think anyone wants to justify keeping drug dealers and criminals in America that are undocumented, immigrants. I think that's everyone agrees with that. What we don't agree with is finding literally anyone that's here, not a citizen, and sending them back in a Gestapo-like fashion, where these men in masks and they're armed, run out of a van and attack a cook from a restaurant and throw him in the back of a car and drive off. No one voted for that. But that is what's happening. And if you don't believe it, you better believe it because I saw it firsthand. a city right near me, Dunmore, Pennsylvania, the chef of a restaurant on his bicycle on his way to work got attacked by ICE, thrown in a van. They took his daughter, who was a elementary school student, and took her away as well. Did anyone vote for that? Did I say or you say that we want our taxpayer money to go to that? Don't think so. But you could bet this is all on purpose. This is to get people outraged. This is to get people outraged. The No Kings protest, the reason it's planned and there's so much money behind it, and that phrase, no kings, that these people regurgitate for no reason, is intentional. They know what they're doing. Soros, all these people that fund these giant protests and get the word out on social media and tell you what to say and tell you where to go and what to do. It's all on purpose. It's planned programming. They already want you to believe he's a king. They're already setting the stage for that because they need this revolution to happen. And they need it to be the people against this tyrannical king. They're even giving you the saying, no kings. This is all on purpose. They're showing you these ICE raids. They're showing you Zorhan Mandami is coming out of nowhere. They're showing you all this stuff to create attention. They're showing you the golden ballroom. They're making it really obvious. It's rats in a cage in the maze, and they're pushing them to the certain cheese. And that's what it is. Whatever rats get to the cheese first, they're the ones. Like, that's what's going to happen. It's all planned. We're just actors in this play, but they already know the scenes. They're directing it. And all it takes is one retaliation. Like I said, one person retaliating in a certain way is going to spark this revolution or civil revolt, and Trump will declare martial law and he'll be dictator indefinitely. And like, hopefully you go back and watch this and you'll say, wow, he was right. He deserves more than 94 subscribers. So what are you supposed to believe? Like, you can't watch the news, obviously, and everybody, they get their news from someone that tickles their fancy. Like, everybody has a talking head or a pundit they watch that they enjoy. And if you're anything like me, you hate the mainstream media because you know that's fake overtly. So you try to watch these outsiders. Now, what does it mean to be an outsider? The Tucker, the Jordan Peterson, the Candace Owens, like these guys, the Alex Jones, they get this radical reputation, but they're outsiders, so people like them. But I'm here to tell you, I wanted to give these people a chance, but I don't think you can get your news from anyone. I think everybody's compromised. I truly do. Let's talk about Candace Owens. She's getting very popular lately, and one would believe that this happened organically, that people just like her takes, and that she's a smart person. Nothing's organic. Her whole rise to fame is fabricated. And even now, I find her super disingenuous, but she's good at what she does. I'll give her that. She's such a good actor. She's a great actor. She's stone cold. She appears intelligent. She talks well. She's articulate. She knows what she's doing. I give her that. She puts on a good show, and she appeals to men and women from many different backgrounds because she doesn't have allegiance to anyone, and she acts like she was the victim and she was tossed out and not welcome, so she had to build her own empire, and she did. That's all fake. She's now riding the coattails of her friend Charlie Kirk, who was, obviously brutally assassinated. She is now making it her life mission to be Scooby-Doo and figure out exactly what happened in that case. And she's the only one getting credible info, and she knows everything. And she has private text messages, and she has internet sleuths looking out for everything. And it's interesting. It's like watching a crime show. It's like watching a juicy show. People like that, and she knows that. She's no dummy. But it's so, if you're like me and you can't enjoy anything because you know everything's fake, that's like me. I can't enjoy a song. I go, this is ghost written, or this is AI, or I can't enjoy anything. I ruin everything for everyone. But I can't even enjoy Candace Owens because it's so obviously disingenuous and fabricated. It just irks me. But the things people fall for is very funny. When you worship these talking heads and these pundits, and you go, I get my news only from her. It's like, okay, listen, this woman is clearly riding the coattails of Charlie Kirk. That's what got a lot of people over to her. She started with another grifter carnival tactic, as you know, like what was her big mission before Charlie Kirk was assassinated? You know what it was? It was to get to the bottom of the mystery of French Prime Minister Macron's wife's penis. You know what I'm saying? Like she finds an obscure story and tries to be the one that is the Scooby-Doo mystery machine gang that solves it, and she gets you for like a couple weeks. But this Charlie Kirk thing, she's really writing it out, and I think it fizzled a bit. People stopped talking about it. No one's going to get to the bottom of it. It's going to be like another Kennedy assassination. You're never going to know what happened ever. Dead man tells no tales, and this administration is covering it up completely. And I think she knew that. So what does she do? She has to spice it up a little. And this is where she loses credibility. She's like, I started having dreams about Charlie. Charlie came to me like a Jedi ghost in my dream and told me that I was wrongfully killed, and here's who you need to look into. Charlie said that in the King's English, right, to Candace Owens. Said, I need you to look into this person. And he came like a Force ghost, and then he left like an apparition in the night. Very odd. She also is saying that she believes Sam Altman and Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are not human and they're reptilians. Like, is this just rebranded Alex Jones? Like, Alex Jones did this first. What's Candace Owens' next episode going to be about? Bigfoot? You know what I'm saying? Like, and people are buying it. Like, I'm sorry if you find it funny. It's entertaining. It's like watching a reality show or a Bravo show, like Summer House. You might like it, but just know it's fake. You might like Candace Owens' show, but please don't think she's a reputable journalist. She's another grifter like the rest of them. Just being honest here. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. Who knows? What do I know? I'm just saying these people are probably plants. They're psyops, all of them. Like, and she goes off more than anyone. I gave her show a chance. I listened to a bunch of episodes. She's always saying that everything's a psyop and everyone's lying to you but me. Everyone's lying to you but me. The other day she was like, Mr. Beast, his family was in the government. He's a psyop. He's fake. He didn't build his YouTube empire. It was given to him. Candace, did you build yours from grassroots? Like what? And then she tells the story and expects people not to smell bullshit in it. She goes, one day me and Charlie were just sitting there, and out of the moment, spur of the moment, we said, we need to go to the UK. Just cause. What are you guys dating? I don't know, but they went on a trip to the UK together. They both dropped everything and did it. And Candace just randomly bumped into this guy, George Farrer, or whatever his name is, her husband now, but back then he was this royal millionaire worth over $200 million, and they got engaged after 2 weeks. Just because George Farrer, look it up, it's her husband. They just met, spur of the moment, got married on their sporadic trip to the UK that Charlie Kirk was on with her. And Candace has all these like texts with Charlie Kirk and knows all this interpersonal things about Charlie Kirk. And Erica Kirk seems to not know any of these things. So was Charlie more open with Candace Owens than Erica Kirk, his own wife? Sending texts to Candace Owens saying, I feel like I'm going to be killed. I keep having dreams I'm going to be killed. I'm not going to get to the mountaintop. He's talking like Martin Luther King. Like, it's a little odd. Erica Kirk, something up with Erica Kirk. We've been saying that for a while in this show. I really can't tell you what, but something's up. She's like intimately hugging JD Vance and saying there's a lot of similarities between Charlie and JD. Like, this is getting odd. You know it's getting odd. The whole thing is fishy, to say the least. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the last stance of independent journalism is like Candace Owens and Rogan and Tucker. I'm not going to put Rogan there because Rogan's still a podcast. He tries to remain like a podcast. It's not like a political news pundit. He's more of an interviewer. and the Podfather, the greatest podcaster of all time. But these independent like news shows are getting odd. Like Tucker, I know I shit on Tucker a little too because I do believe he's compromised as well, but his show was pretty good the other day. He had Marjorie Taylor Greene on, which is besides the point. I don't know why they're trying to make her the presidential nomination, but they're doing it. I think it's because we live in the carnival and the craziest person rises to the top, and that's what's going on. The more entertaining you are, is who's going to get the spot, pretty much. But he had her on, and the only reason I bring it up is he talked about the 5 pillars of MAGA, the Make America Great Again movement of Trump. And he showed all this evidence of like what the 5 pillars were, and I agreed with them all. And after watching that, you could tell that this current administration isn't following one of those pillars. Not one single original message of MAGA is being followed right now. And Tucker did bring that to light in a nice way, and I give him credit for that. He also had Nick Fuentes on the other day, and that's a whole other thing. A lot of people won't give that guy a platform, even though he's growing in popularity, whether you like that or not, he is. Why is he? Because I don't think we allow people to speak honestly. I think there's a skew to everything, and I think there's a monetizable goal to everything. And I think people that figure out that you can't do that and you have to give a platform to everyone and let the people decide what's good or bad, those people are going to be successful. That's why Rogan was always successful. He let anyone on. He had Alex Jones on, he had Donald Trump on, J.D. Vance on, Bernie Sanders on. Anyone. Got to let people talk. You got to let the people decide what they feel about someone, not just letting these pundits or the powers that be tell you your opinion about someone. That's the problem. When you start telling people their own opinions, you're going to get backlash. And you're going to get people that cling to the outsiders, which is why Candace Owens and Tucker are doing very well, because they appear to be kicked out of the big club and they're on their own now, but very far from the truth. I think a lot of people got the $7,000 donation, and some are planned opposition and some aren't. Keep that in mind. Which is why I'm going to close by telling you how important this show is right here. And I know it's a small audience. I don't even have 100 subscribers yet, even though we are close. But I'm not compromised, whether we make jokes about it or not. My sponsors don't compromise me. No one around me compromises me. I say whatever I want, whatever I feel, and I give you my opinion on the show. I'm just a pundit and a talking head. I'm not telling you what I'm saying is factual. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a cowboy in the basement, and you guys are watching just like everyone else. No one's word is the word of God. Everyone has their opinion. Tucker, Rogan, it's all like they're not credible 100%. No one is. You're watching because you want their opinion. You want their take. You know what I'm saying? You watch this because you want my take. And I'm giving you my take, and it's actually my take, and there's no one in the background skewing my opinion. Now, that's valuable because I'm going to tell you, I'm not on the world stage. I'm not even on the world stage parking lot. I'm not even in the county of the world stage. That's how far away I am from the world stage. But anyone who is on the world stage, keep this in mind. Really let this sink in. Anyone who is on the world stage didn't get there on accident. And the reason they're there is because they are complying. If you don't comply with the rules of the world stage, you either get off the world stage or you know what happens. Don't have to even say it, but you know it's comply or die. So the fact that you have someone that's paying attention and doing the research and giving you his thoughtful take on these things, like me, is kind of a blessing because they didn't find me yet and they didn't discover me yet because I'm not big enough yet to be important. But for the few of you that do watch, you're getting an honest take and maybe some laughs in there. There's no manager or there's no company that runs me or nobody on my payroll. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just here doing it myself. And that's kind of nice. Not compromised. I'm actually unapologetically uncompromised. And that's the theme of this episode. I want you all to be unapologetically uncompromised, like your friend, Kat Matthews. So as you let all that sink in, just be cautious of everything. I don't think anything is the way it seems, and I don't think any person is giving you the one sole answer. So make sure you get your news from many different sources, especially this one. And, be a critically thinking adult and keep an open mind and really trust nothing and accept that you know nothing. All I know is I know nothing. Socrates. We don't know anything. We believe a lot, but we don't know anything definitively. And the minute you think you do, the minute your ego is too inflated and you need to ground yourself and reflect. Stay humble. Try to achieve ego death one way or another. One step closer to that every day. Wake up every day, try to be not better than anyone else, but better than the person you were yesterday, and you'll have a better life. Now, these are blanket statements, but whatever that means to you, let it mean whatever it means to you to be better than you were yesterday, whether that be healthier, a better thinker, a better husband, a better wife, a better chef, better at aiming when you're peeing in the toilet. Whatever it is, try to be better than you were yesterday. And be unapologetically uncompromised in everything you do. And if you are being disingenuous, try to stop it and be more yourself. That way, we could break the hive mind sheep mentality and hopefully be independent thinkers. That's not what the elites want, but that's what they'll get. With any help from God and any good luck. That's the goal. This show is brought to you in part by Jack's Pub and Eatery and Three Saints Barbershop, located in the heart of historic downtown Jessup, Pennsylvania. Getting better at that ad read, Mike. Also, Tusk Scran and Picardo Jewelers. We'll be back next week with another great episode. We love you. Please share the pod. I want to get that up to 100 subscribers. That would be great. Show your friends, show your dad, send it to grandma. You know the rules. Get those numbers up for me, please. Comment. If you disagree with me, comment. I want to comment. I want something to do. I want to have a debate. As always, stay curious, my friends. Good night.